Hey everyone, it's Crazy Greek Cats here with story time. I've had a lot of requests for a video like this, so yeah, as a lot of you know, my family and friends, followers, I guess you could say, I like my psychedelics. People like me telling stories, so I guess you could say this is story time for my salvia trip. So yeah, I haven't done DMT, haven't done ayahuasca. I dibble dabble, you could say, with mushrooms. So anyway, I'll make another video of those stories. So first time we grabbed the boat, I'd say it was 80 times. There's different strengths, as you guys know. This is salvia, by the way. The traditional way of taking salvia, I find out, you actually chew it. You chew the leaf. We didn't. We smoked it, as most people do. You know, it comes over. It's marketed, you smoke it. So we did it 80 times. I had a friend freak out. That was his story. Did a bit of my research first. So went to my friend's house. I know you can't be surrounded. It's all about your environment. So I can't really be surrounded with, you know, hecticness. I didn't want to be surrounded with anybody. So I took one toke, held it in maybe 5-10 seconds, coughed it out. As I was coughing it out, my buddies packed another toke. They forced me to take it before apparently you lose kind of all full body function, which I didn't know. Did a little bit of research, but I just did, you know, the research based on the actual trips itself. I'm a pretty strong-minded guy, so I was confident in going into it. Took my second toke, blew it out. We were hanging out in his basement at the time. So as I blew it out, I ran upstairs and kind of laid in his spare bedroom. This is where it was profound and weird, but I took something from it at least. You know what I mean? From this trip. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are afraid of it. They just freak out. Whatever their situation is, that's their situation, right? So there I am, laying on the ground maybe 30 seconds after I took the second toke. I close my eyes. I start sinking into the floor. So as I'm sinking into the floor, I feel these... I can't really describe. I can't put in words. Little people, I called them at the time. These little people, kind of holding me down. So I was speaking to them, but everything that was said wasn't with words. It was kind of like, you could say telepathic. It was just a known thing, right? So this was all based on my emotion. So as I got sunk into the floor, I'm kind of, I can't explain it, sinking down and twisting at the same time as they're holding me. So I finally arrive on, I guess you would say, their plane, their world, their dimension, their whatever it is. So there I am with these little people holding me, and I'm asking them, again, this isn't in words. So I'm asking them, like, what am I doing here? So they're there to show me around. I viewed this and perceived it as a carnival. It felt like I was at a carnival. I felt comfortable. I didn't freak out. I was accepting of it. So I said, okay. Don't really remember details of the carnival. I just know I was definitely in a different dimension, definitely in a different plane. Didn't understand where I was, but accepted it. As I got scared, what I felt them holding me, it was like kind of on my back, because I was laying on my back, so I felt pressure points on my back. They kind of let go a little bit as I was getting scared, so it kind of relieved me a bit. It didn't make me feel like I was freaking out, just the physical feeling of my body. So that helped where I was spiritually, I guess, with them. I felt more easy, and then again, it continued. The story continued. The trip continued. So in the middle of it, I snapped out. So I thought. I snapped out of it. I was in my friend's spare room still. I kind of freaked out. I stood up. I walked by the doorway and looked down to where they were. I could recall the conversation they were having. I can recall everything. I continue on walking into his other room. I sit on the couch. Tried snapping out of it. I was like, whoa, that was a weird trip. That was a weird trip. Trying to, about a couple minutes long, trying to understand what was going on. I close my eyes. I wake up. I'm still laying in the spare room. I didn't move. I didn't stand up and walk by and look down. I might have out of body. My spirit might have. I guarantee you if I walked downstairs into their basement, they wouldn't have seen me. I would have heard what they said, word for word. I would have been able to recite what they said. But instead, I chose to go sit on the couch. Little did I know, I was actually still laying on my back on that floor in his spare room. So I definitely went somewhere else. I came back a little too premature. I shouldn't have opened my eyes. I should have stayed there. Didn't know where I was. Couldn't really explain it. And that was my first real trip. It only lasted a couple minutes. After the fact, I was calm. I was relaxed. It was like the best kind of weed high you can get, but just relaxing. You know what I mean? Anyway, the second one, my brain was kind of painted into... Sorry, not my brain. 3 brains were painted into 3 pictures. I had the choice of picking one of 3 brains, and I lived that life. So that's a story in itself. That was the next trip. That was amazing. So you definitely get out-of-body experiences. So again, it was different. It's definitely, I would say try it. You know, just ball up and try it. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe, guys. I'll have more videos about this. And I'm going to see a shaman in 2 weeks for a DMT trip, a guided trip. So that should be interesting. Have a good night, guys, and bless.